Welcome to the Core Experience, your connection to community, business, and the people who make it all happen with your host, Brandon Suba.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Core Experience here at the Hurrdat Studios. I'll give you a little shout out, Hurrdat. My name is Brandon Suba. I am the healthcare banker relationship manager at Core Bank, but I get to also be the host here on the Core Experience. And we've kind of been on a roll of bringing some phenomenal people that are at the office. We spent a good time bringing in people that were involved in the organizations, but we're getting back to some roots. We're getting to the roots of it, right? And so I have a very, very important person with me, and I'm gonna cheat just a little because I always say your title wrong, but this is the Chief People Officer with Core Bank, and this is Lindsey Wedel. Lindsey, hi.
Hi.
So if you ever adventure on coming on to Core, you get to spend some time with Lindsey. She talks to all of the applicants and then takes such good care of us day in and day out. You and Michelle are phenomenal.
Oh,
phenomenal
Thanks.
team. And a very good friend, family friend of ours, is very good friends with you because you guys were in the HR world, right?
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
And her name's Heather. She's my wife's best friend. They work together now, and we camp every year, once a year. And this last time we even talked about you on camping.
Oh, that's
So,
wonderful.
all good
Heather's
things.
phenomenal.
All good
Yeah.
things. Well, Lindsey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your history with Core and before that, and what got you to where you are today?
Sure. So I've been with Core for just over 23 years now.
Just a little.
Just a little while. And I started actually as a part-time teller way back in the day when I was in college, actually going to school for elementary education. And as you can guess, that did not come to fruition on my elementary education degree, but decided to stay with the bank all through college. And then in 2004, I graduated and just decided to stay with the bank because I met so many wonderful people. I loved the work that I was doing. And in 2007, 2008, I was able to put my teaching degree to good use and became the employee development officer for the bank and did a lot of training for grownups, not kids, but
I've done training myself.
Yeah.
It's not that far off.
Yeah.
All the rules still apply.
there's definitely some similarities. And then from there on, my career just grew in human resources. I took on the human resources role in 2017, and then just recently became the Chief People Officer, really focusing more on talent development, strategy, organizational development, that piece. So.
And I think Heather and I talked, when we were talking about culture, a lot of what you have done and what you do played into that conversation. And honestly, that's what we're going to dig in today. In this episode is we're going to really kind of go over the big celebration we have coming. Can I share it?
Yes,
Can I say it? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So Core's turning 10, right? Core Bank turning 10 years old because it was a merge back in the day. Tell us, what were the two banks?
It was Centennial Bank and Omaha State Bank.
Okay.
Yep. And so when I say I've been there for 23 years, that might be confusing, but I came from Omaha State Bank, hung out through the merger and have been with Core for those 10 years that we've been Core Bank.
Wonderful. And anything super exciting about the 10 year that you want to share? Like, how's the road been for 10 years with the new merge?
Phenomenal. I love what I do. I love the opportunities that Core has provided me. I've gotten to work with some fantastic people. We have the most phenomenal people, I think, now.
Wow.
It's just fantastic. I love it. So for 10 years, a couple different celebrations, way we're recognizing that in our branch locations and our banking centers. Our customers can pop on over for some popcorn. And then we have some really fun things planned for our people. I can't let the lid off that just yet. It's kind of a surprise.
I have a big mouth, so I wouldn't say anything that you don't want people to know.
I will say that it really goes back to one of our big, I guess, a big piece of our culture, and that's community involvement. So I'm going to leave it there.
Good.
Okay.
I think that's a good cliffhanger.
Okay.
Good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You talked about locations. You and I are at the newest location, but you got to see the development in the building of headquarters out west. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that process actually started. We've been there. It'll be 5 years in December, I believe. Back in 2018, we opened that location, finished that headquarters, and all moved in. But that was a long road. We spent a lot of time really being intentional about the design of that building, really wanting, one of our core values is collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to make sure that we had those spaces available for people to collaborate in, our community to come in and use our space, really make it a place where our employees enjoyed to be. So we have a fitness center, those great spaces to collaborate in. It's gorgeous. Just the aesthetic of it is fantastic. So
I like it's like a modern hip feel to it. Lots of cement on the walls.
Right. And, a lot of people will walk in and there's like, this is a bank, right? Because when you walk in our front doors and you kind of look to your left, there's the coffee bar and these like cafe tables. It just doesn't have that traditional bank branch feel. It's very welcoming and inviting.
But I think we need to recognize, though, and then you went back and remodeled the existing branches too, right? Because I love going into them. I feel very at home, just like at headquarters, because it's a lot of the same colors and design and all of that.
That's right. Yep. I believe Bel Air, our location on 121st and Center, was one of the first to be remodeled after headquarters. And then our Q Street location went through a big remodel, and that looks fabulous. Our Granite Falls location is our newest Omaha location, and that, of course, was built with that same aesthetic. So we've got a location or two still needing to be remodeled, but the idea is for that aesthetic to carry through all the banking centers.
Get that there.
Yep.
So you see all the people coming in and going out. And where are we at for employment? How many employees do we have?
Oh, gosh. We are I just checked today, we're at 145.
Wow.
Yeah. And we only have a couple of open positions. We've been really fortunate that we have some great people who refer great people to us.
I don't know what you're referring to.
So very thankful for that. We've been very fortunate, building our employer brand and becoming that employer of choice for a lot of folks in the banking world. So right now, our experienced experts, which, commonly people would call them a universal banker or a personal banker. We have a couple openings for those folks. And then we are looking for another team member for our treasury services team.
And if you didn't listen to the Heather podcast, that's the one that just came out. Or the last one that came out, I should say. If you're on the fence on if it's a great place to work, listen to that one.
Absolutely.
But like I said, a lot of my excitement towards the culture is you and Michelle and your team and what you guys do at the bank. It's how I explain it is the previous bank I was at, they wanted to have the small bank culture and they tried really hard. They were just not getting there. And the people that I have referred, it was easy to say, Core nails the culture. Sure. Like what you've hoped and dreamed, you'll get here. And I still feel that way.
That's good. That's what I think makes the difference. We talk about that culture, but when we have new people come on board and they feel that and they experience it and they say, yeah, it is really what you told me it would be. That's the biggest compliment. That's what we try to establish. Now,
a lot of, not just banks, but a lot of companies, they will go through a revamp. They will go through, you really can't. You can change your culture by activity. You can't change it by just writing, hey, we're going to do this now, right? But I know Core has invested, and I use that word very, very heavily, in the culture, but to do it the right way. So we had a big movement of Bank Forward. Now I came in, I'm over a year now at Core. I love it. And I came in after the first kind of round of introductions had happened. And there were groups. This is what I know. There were groups that were different departments coming together and really taking on the daily challenges, right? We don't see these all the time. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? And so that led to what I know as Bank 2.0. And if you got to backtrack on this, please do. And we had a conference. We had a conference one Monday, a holiday, so the branches were able to join us. But I want you to take it from here because that's, like I said, that was outside looking in. That was my 1 year experience, but I was blown away at the conference. Blown away.
That's great. So I am going to back up just a little bit to talk about kind of the origin of Bank Forward. So Bank Forward actually started as a conference. The very first Bank Forward, we invited some industry leaders in, fintech leaders, other CEOs from other banks, maybe outside of our market that were doing things differently. We invited them in to speak to all of our people. And I think we learned a lot, but out of that came, the things that our people think we could do better or differently, the improvements we could make that could help push the bank forward.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this group that came together. I believe every department within our bank is represented in this wonderful group of people, and they're just so passionate about our culture and making sure we're doing things efficiently and effectively, and have really, started to lead the charge and make that change. So we did have Bank Forward 2.0, which was that conference
awesome.
In February, and part of what we did there is we launched our purpose and our kind of refreshed values. So we decided in 2023 that we were going to take a step back and be really intentional about culture and really strengthening the good things that we have going, and fix some of the things where we may have misstepped, because that happens, right?
Absolutely.
So we really worked on we had Bank Forward and did a focus group with them, asked them, who do you want us to be? How do we go about our work on a daily basis when we're at our best? What does that look like? And why are we here? Why do we do what we do? So we got their feedback from a focus group. I bet we talked to 55, 60 people, a good almost half of our employee base, almost half of our people. And out of that came this purpose. Our purpose is to build better. Everything that we do, we want to align behind that purpose of building better. And out of that also came our refreshed values. So, we have 6 values, and I am going to try to remember them off of the top of my head, but we're collaborative, we're curious, we are empowered, we serve. What am I forgetting?
Is there innovative?
Not innovated. Oh my gosh.
I have them in my office.
My CEO is going to be very disappointed in me.
That's all right. That's all right. I have them. I have them too. I took, because we did an exercise where, as you introduced them, we pulled them out at our table that we were sitting at, and I actually took them and I have them up in my office. So if you ever walk by my office, you'll see them on my
phenomenal.
billboard.
That's what I love to hear. Genuine, which
There
is
we
one
go.
of my favorites. I can't believe that that didn't come to mind.
When it comes to it's always our favorites that we forget because we live them, right? Like,
it's
genuine is just so natural. Yep. So don't feel bad.
Okay. But yeah, so during our Bank Forward 2.0 conference, we put a lot of work behind launching that purpose and those values and our people during that conference. We sat down and we did a lot of work with those, kind of digging into how can we put those into action in each of our different areas, each of our different departments. So that was a great piece of it. And then also, as far as being intentional in our culture and kind of the things that Bank Forward prompted, were a lot of the development opportunities that we've launched in 2023, core university, and helping grow our leaders within the bank. A lot of the different communication. We have a core connection, kind of a big all hands meeting that we do twice a year outside of the Bank Forward conference, which, by the way, we're doing again in 2024.
I already clicked the attended button, or attending button, I should say. I accepted it.
Perfect. Yeah. So just a lot of really great intentional work, building that culture, helping to develop our people, personally and professionally. We say people. We're trying to move away from the word employee, because employee is 8 hours a day. That's who comes to work. But our people are 24/7. We want to develop them holistically. So
well, and we have the gym. You'd mentioned the gym that we have there,
center.
But then we also have encouragement to have other like a YMCA membership or something on those lines, and even Stanford Profile. We get health tips. I mean, really, I want to emphasize the people. It is not just we want you to know how to run a loan. It is we want you to be happy while you're also doing these loans.
Right. It's even becoming part of our performance development process.
Cool.
We're all asked to put together some objectives for the year that we want to achieve, and we ask everybody to include at least 1 or 2 development, personal and professional objectives with that. So really focusing on the whole person.
Speaking of focusing on the whole person, That's a horrible segue. I just love using it when it doesn't matter. So there's a quiz. I don't really even know too much about this. I think it's part of the 10-year celebration. Okay, so there's a quiz. Now, is it just employees that are going to get this quiz? Like, is it all? It's internal.
So this is actually external.
Oh,
this
shoot!
Will be for our customers on. I believe it's on mainly Facebook, but I think our wonderful brand and marketing folks might push it out to our other socials.
Okay.
But the way I understand it is there'll be a trivia question maybe each week. And there may be prizes involved for our customers who answer correctly. So,
all right. So we are going to give you one right now. So if you are a customer of the bank and you're listening to this, we're going to give you an answer. If you're not a customer of the bank, you're listening to this, please come ask for Brandon Suba and I'll get you onboarded with some great checking accounts. Okay. So the question is, what is the newest office location for Core Bank?
So the answer to that one is our newest location in Mesa, Arizona, if you can believe that.
I can. And what is the focus of that branch?
Yeah, so it's actually a loan production office, but really focused on the airline, aerospace space down there. There's a big presence in Arizona. We have a great expert on board down there in Bill McMillan. Ben Maskus is our market leader down there and have done a great job building that market for us. I
mean, and I've offered this before, but if you ever need me to go to that office, I will make the sacrifice. Yeah. It'll be tough, but I will go down there. Okay, community involvement. We had Heather talk about it a little bit, but I want you to go further deep into it because honestly, again, you are a big mastermind behind a lot of those. So what are some of the things we've done so far and some things coming up?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that Core Bank is really known for, at least internally, maybe externally, is our involvement in the Polar Plunge.
Yeah.
So going to give that a little bit of a plug.
I'm actually, okay, so last year was the first time I have ever done a Polar Plunge. And when I traveled, I worked pretty close with the Sioux Falls Special Olympics. So he did them all across South Dakota. And he invited me all the time. Never won it. Well, I would have had to drive up there too. But this one, very close to my house, so it was very convenient. I'm looking forward to the next one. Like, it is a blast. It is a blast. Okay, sorry.
No, that's all right. And it's, I've plunged a few years. It's actually everything I hate, being cold, being in water where I can't see my feet. It's a phobia of mine, but it is just a fantastic time. Our people are so passionate about raising money for that organization, Special Olympics of Nebraska, through the Polar Plunge. I believe we, in this year's Polar Plunge 2023, we raised close to $30,000. And we had 68 people on our team, which was we were the top fundraiser for the whole Polar Plunge.
We were in some news. I think we were in like the newspaper too.
Maybe
and we were it was on the news too.
That's fantastic.
Yep, all of us, we dressed as Who's from, Thing 1 and Thing 2. Yes. But we were up to like Thing 68 or something to plunge in. It was a lot of fun. So the Polar Plunge, what else?
So we just recently donated $5,000 to the Omaha Home for Boys or through our community impact program. So this is kind of a grant and award that we award quarterly, or as often as quarterly, I should say, up to $5,000 each quarter. It's through an application process. So if we have nonprofits that are looking for funding for a specific program, they can go out to our website, corebank.com/community, find all the criteria there and put in an application. We review those on a quarterly basis and could potentially award up to $5,000.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Which for a lot of nonprofits, that can make a big difference.
Right.
Big difference.
Yes.
I mean, we had Humble and Kind on here, and
oh my goodness,
like $5 they'll make go so far.
Yeah, and our
the golf outing,
the golf tournament that we hold, that's become an annual thing for us. We had $10,000 donated to Humble and Kind through that. Community is just such a part of who Core Bank is. It's everybody that comes to work there. It's in their blood. It's something that they love.
I think it goes back to the culture. Meet the culture. We're a community bank.
Absolutely.
So we're in the community. Just makes sense.
That's right. Absolutely.
I always like to throw this out. I didn't prepare you for it. Are there any final thoughts you want to share on what's to come? What's been going on? Just your experience at Core, the 10-year celebration.
Yeah, you're really putting me on the spot.
I know I do this on purpose because then you get the best of your opinions.
Great. No, I'm really just, the intentionality behind 2023 and all that we've done as far as developing our purpose and our culture. Our leadership team has come together, and just the alignment and the collaboration that happens at that level. Hopefully, other folks can see that and experience it. Every day I go to work and I just feel blessed to be able to do what I do, where I do it. We have phenomenal people. And I don't say that lightly. I really love the people that we have. We're very lucky.
And I would agree. And I get to be one of those people most days. For more information on the Core Experience podcast, you can always go to corebank.com/podcast or email coreexperience@corebank.com. If there's ever a topic, maybe a guest that you'd like to have on here, we would love those thoughts and we'll do our best to make that happen. Lindsey, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it was an honor. And for everyone else, we will talk to you on a future podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Core Experience, your connection to community, business, and the people who make it all happen. For more details, go to corebank.com/podcast or email coreexperience@corebank.com. Brought to you by Core Bank, member FDIC. Core Bank is an equal housing lender.